All right. Well, this one's gonna be a little bit of a shorter one, I guess, like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That okay?
Yeah. We'll try that.
Because people gotta work. I
People
don't.
gotta work.
I don't got a job yet. Well, I don't start the job. But welcome back to the MattCast. I am Matty Light, joined by my co-host Matty Heavy, and this one we're gonna kind of blow through this one. So we got one big story from the NFL. Jason Kelsey has officially announced his retirement.
Which, like, honestly, good for him, man.
Yeah, like
Like,
good for him. He's got
I'm
what?
sure people wanted him to fucking go for another, but I was
Yeah,
like, bro, just
you already
retire.
got one ring.
Just
And, like,
retire.
from their podcast, like, he talks about how, like, his back just is always locked up all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's just like, yeah,
I
like
mean, he's got what, two, three kids?
yeah, 3
Like,
kids.
and they're all young, man.
Yeah,
So, yeah. And I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll
yeah,
do,
like, coaching stuff
I
or
don't know about coaching stuff. Probably like just either like be a personality on
yeah,
TV or he's got his podcast.
yeah. Podcast should help carry him through in retirement.
So yeah, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
You'll still see
and,
him.
like, 7 Pro Bowls, 1 Super Bowl
I
ring.
love what he was like. He's like, I'm super overrated.
Yeah, it's good for him. Like, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
He achieved a lot in his career. He really got the name out for the offensive linemen, which, like,
Mm.
they don't get a lot of.
They don't get a lot of love.
They don't, and they
Mm.
should get a lot more love. They are honestly what makes or break a good team.
So, and I mean, yeah, he's been, and I love a guy that is stays with one team.
Yeah,
I love that. I mean, I don't mind when people go around. I'm not, but like when a guy is like a Philly guy his entire time, I really fuck with that. So
yeah, when they say, like I understand, like, sometimes you gotta, like, shop yourself around.
yeah,
Like, if you are in a less than mediocre team,
mm,
but you are the talent that's keeping that team going,
yeah,
and you're just putting fucking 32 grown men on your back every fucking night,
yeah,
yeah. It's just like, sometimes you gotta do what's best for you, especially if the right offer comes through.
yeah. And I'm not saying like if
Yeah.
you leave your team, you're a fucking piece of shit,
No,
but
but it's nice to see someone stick with the same team.
yeah, yeah.
Um, what was the next story that you have up?
I just have the free agents
Okay.
and some of that kind of news because I mean, big shock. Russell Wilson got released, which is
Oh, yeah.
probably well. They're saying his trade deal is like the worst trade that
Mhm.
ever happened,
Yeah.
and
The worst trade deal in the history of
like,
trade
dude, when you
deals.
look at like what the Broncos got like rid of in exchange for Russ,
Yeah.
and he only plays what, 2
Yeah,
seasons?
2
2
seasons,
seasons, yeah.
and they were mediocre at best.
Which, I mean, like, I feel kinda bad for Russ because like, different head coach each
Yeah.
season, and then, I mean, his team isn't, like, offensively studded,
No.
but yeah, not
Big
surprised to see him go,
It's kinda like what we're just talking about, like, it
he's probably gonna land on a different spot, and
yeah.
I hope he does a lot better. I
Yeah.
mean, potentially the
Yep.
Steelers, it's like I guess like one of the big ones that they're suggesting
Mhm.
for him. Jerome Baker was released, and Eric Kendricks, and then the Seahawks released fucking Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, and Will Beasley, like fucking three Pro Bowlers who.
What?
So I'm assuming they might have like a cap space issue.
Mhm. Or they're looking to try and pick up someone in the draft.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what their draft order is anymore,
Yeah.
but that and then you got some franchise tags. There's a lot of franchise tags. I'm just gonna kind of name like the big ones.
Mhm.
Josh Allen from the Jaguars,
Yep.
not that Josh Allen.
Yeah.
As Chisel Donna says, the superior Josh Allen, he got franchise tagged by the
Yeah.
Jags. Michael Pittman Jr., which was like a huge free agent
Yeah.
that hit the market, got franchise tagged.
That's
Um,
good for him.
yeah. Speaking of big free agents that people worry about, Mike Evans signed a 2-year contract,
Oh, yeah.
52
With the Bucks?
with the Bucks. Yeah, he's
Okay.
staying. They're kind of working with Baker. I
Mhm.
hope they pick him up.
Yeah.
I hope they keep him.
Yeah,
Man, a lot of
Baker and
noise
Mike Evans,
today.
yeah.
Fucking, we had a tornado sirens
Yeah, the
earlier, and I
testing
was
the tornado
yeah.
alarms.
And then the other big one that I had is the Texans signed Dalton Schultz again to a
Okay.
3-year 36 mil contract. So those are like the big ones so
Mhm.
far
Yeah.
when you're looking at free agency and contacts or
Yeah.
contract signs and stuff like that. But we'll keep it
Mhm.
posted
Yeah.
as more kind of come and go. I'm very interested to see where Jamal Adams, Will
Mhm.
Beasley, and fucking Quandre Diggs
Yeah.
go. I mean, like they're gonna start
Yeah.
wherever they
They're gonna
go.
start wherever they go. Yeah.
So
Unless like
maybe not Quandre Diggs, but
maybe they're brought in for like that veteran
yeah,
mentality, bring someone of
especially like Jamal
experience.
Adams, man.
Mhm.
Like that was the most surprising one.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder they go on and tell you next
Okay.
start, but
So we got the draft rookies or like rankings, sorry. The draft rankings. We're just gonna kind of cover because like the ESPN listing is like the top 50, and we need to kind of shoot through this. But no surprise, Caleb Williams is at number one in the power ranking. I say he's dynamic, but a lot of people are also saying he's a bust too. So like take it with a grain of salt. Jaden Daniels from LSU, quarterback. He's 6'4". Jesus fuck, he's gonna be huge. Um, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. So like you're getting that. There, his
I've
dad
been
was
seeing
a
him fuck
fuck ton,
ton.
and like from what I saw on like clips, um, he's almost like a carbon copy of his dad from like when he came from college into the pros. So
Really?
yeah, it's looking like he's gonna be another carrying the fucking name, unless if it gets all to his head, like the name and the fame and everything like that gets into his head and he just doesn't fucking transition well.
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's like the fame, but there are some people that just don't transition well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, from college to NFL.
Malik Neighbors, I heard of him. He was a wide receiver for LSU. He really did a good job, especially he was lucky too to have a fucking number two power ranked quarterback as well.
Yeah.
Like it also helps out when your quarterback's fucking phenomenal.
The Drake, is it
Drake
May?
May,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard about him.
He's so like a lot of people were having him higher and having him be number one over Caleb Williams.
That's what I saw. Is a lot
Yeah.
of people were saying that Caleb Williams is a bit overrated, but I didn't watch. Couldn't really tell you.
Yeah. And from the clips that I've seen, Drake May is definitely better compared to Caleb Williams. So
Gotcha.
I'm on the Caleb Williams as a bus train. That's my official
Really?
stance.
Okay.
Um, and also just like through all these quarterbacks that have came from what was it, fucking UCS that came from that system have all but like one of them has been a bust. Like everybody's just said that like they're fucking the next, Tom Brady, and then they show up and they're just ass.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So like I'm following the trend, and I've been it shot me in the back multiple times, but that's my official stance on Caleb Williams. That Drake May is better.
hmm,
Um, Rome Odunes, I saw him in the college championship game. Uh, I wish his quarterback was not injured because like he was definitely helping keep that team alive. And with his quarterback with the rib bullshit going on in his throws, and it was on his right side, so like trying to throw and with the fucking hurt rib hurts. So like
mm,
he was getting the targets, but they were not accurate at all. Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. I know we said we need to start showing some love to the offensive lineman, but I have not seen any of his clips. But the fact that there is an offensive lineman in the top 10 shows that he's probably fucking going to be a Pro Bowl talent.
what's his little description say?
6'9", Alt has immense stature paired with light feet and composure well beyond his experience. As he's only been a full-time tackle for 2 seasons, he never plays off balance, showing good body control and marrying his feet to his upper body.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I've heard about the Brock Bowers.
Yep. Bowers, he's coming in at number 8 for a tight end. Bowers is a nightmare matchup for any defense, as his elite route running and run after catch traits make him an offensive
Well, apparently,
mismatch.
even with his his ability to block, apparently
Yeah.
he's really fucking good as a blocker too.
And like having the tight end that can like block really well too to match up with those like 6'8", 6'9" motherfuckers. Yeah. Uh Latu, an edge rusher from UCLA. Um, Two has pass rush savvy of a 5-year NFL veteran, showcasing nuance and great technique that helped him to the most pressures, 112. and sacks 23.5. Wow. Over the past 2 seasons. He was forced to medically retire during his time in Washington in 2020. But if his health checks out now, there's little doubt to me that he can become a star. And then we'll just stop off at number 10. Aaron Arnold, a cornerback from Alabama, which is 6 foot for a cornerback. That's fucking tall. In a class that he could feature a handful of first-round quarterbacks, Arnold's physicality and instincts on-ball production give him a real shot to be the first one taken. He finished his college season with 5 interceptions and 12 pass breakups. He plays through the ball in coverage, consistently making receivers earn their catches. Which, for a cornerback, especially in a heavily cornerback class, that's gonna be huge.
Oh yeah, we didn't even cover this in the.
No.
Is it gonna be okay video? We're not gonna
Yeah,
get.
we can.
Okay.
We might not show the sound.
When it comes,
Say that, but here, I'll
Man, that was a fucking weird angle to show first. So I'm
yeah.
confused.
So
Are they just taking male baseball players and turning them female? Because from the scoreboard, there was like it was the dude.
I don't know, but like they're adding females into paving the way into MLB 24, the show. Um, Here's the trailer for it. Women pave their way, and it's just. I guess they're adding women into the MLB.
So I'm not saying. Oh, okay, I see.
Like you can create your own female
And
player.
then okay.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like when you create your own player
yeah.
and
You
okay.
can create your own player to be a chick in a male dominated sport. But
I mean, I'm all for equality, but
yeah,
if I'm being cynical, this looks like a way for
woke.
no, not even woke. It's just like they're like, hey, how can we reach into a market if all of our consumers are men?
Yeah,
We'll
this is a reach for.
make it yeah, they're just reaching
Yeah,
for like female consumers. So it's not even about being woke, it's just
reaching
reaching for
out and yeah,
consumers and just
and
yeah.
like I wonder what kind of backlash is going to come for MLB the Show.
Fucking like
Like I don't like.
who's gonna boycott it because of that? It's not like they're
Yeah.
turning all of the players female and
Hmm.
you can't. They're just adding it so you
Yeah.
could be a female.
Well,
Now, what I think they're not prepared for is the amount of times that because like look at the guy who's like Danny Burgers or
yeah.
whatever, like short,
Yeah.
fat, big beard.
Yeah.
What do you think they're gonna do to those women
Yeah.
players, dude? Like that would be my
Oh.
more kind of just like seeing what they're gonna do
Yeah.
to make.
God, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if it's
There's
like
gonna
woke or
either be like
anything.
super atrocious looking,
Yeah.
or they're gonna try and make them a baddie and over sexualize them.
Oh yeah. I
'Cause
mean,
there's gonna be no in the middle. It's
mm-mm,
just gonna be that's what you're gonna see. But like the thing I was thinking though is like with Battlefield 5 when it came out,
mm,
they were like really focused on like the women shit.
mm.
And then they changed a lot of fucking war stories to just like include women.
See, that's
So
that's
like yeah,
different. That's when you're changing history to fit it like a narrative.
yeah.
But just adding females to be able to play
It's not
baseball, like
yeah,
that's I don't think that has anything to do with being
no.
woke. It's just you're just trying to reach into a
Yeah.
new market,
Reach
man. I
yeah.
get it.
Okay. And then your next one that you had before we get into mine.
Uh,
'Cause we're really blowing through this.
what was my other one?
Didn't you have another two, or was that the two that you had?
Mm.
Did you
Yeah,
have
I just kind of condensed all of the.
the
I
free
mean, I had the
agents and stuff?
UFC. I had the
Okay, okay.
UFC
Then we'll
ones.
close off with the UFC then.
Yeah.
So next one up is the ranking which 2023 MLB playoff teams won't be back in 2024. So they have number one as the Miami Marlins. The Doolittle playoff odds right now are 23.4%.
I have faith in Skip Schumacher to
Mm-hmm.
take them
Take
back
them
to the
back.
playoff. Yeah, to the playoffs.
The Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, I can see that. I can
Yeah.
see because I mean, like when you're looking at the Central, St. Louis did not meet their
Yeah.
expectations in the slightest. So I can definitely see. I mean, if St. Louis fucking play and they fucking made the change they need to, especially in
Mhm.
like the pitching department, getting Sonny Gray, who did injure himself, but
Yeah.
doesn't look to be in the season ending one.
Mhm.
I can see St. Louis definitely knocking out the Brewers
And,
to
like,
take the Central.
for the Pirates, they started off hot and heavy, up until the All-Star break. Like, they were
Mm,
leading the Central all the way through, and then after the All-Star break, it was just, like, losing streak after losing streak, and there's, like
yeah,
I'm sitting there as a Pirates fan, like, I was getting faith again. I'm like, "Yes, let's fucking do this. Like, let's bring back another championship for fucking Pennsylvania." Because the meme from last week is just, like, every Pennsylvania team in the
yeah,
century has a championship, and there's just
except
the Pirates.
yeah.
This is like, come on, man. Yeah, I was really excited, like, it seems like the Cardinals started off pretty hot too, and then just died
Not
off.
not even, man. Like it was just one of those. It was like a weird thing. But I think they definitely have the potential to do better.
Yeah. And the Texas Rangers, I don't see
Didn't they
why
just
they're up here. Yeah,
didn't
like
they just win?
their odds are at 49.7,
Hmm.
so like it's basically 50%, but I mean, I could see the Texas Rangers coming back and playing in the playoffs again. Then we have the Tampa Bay Rays. They're just a little bit over 50%. I honestly would think
Who is Doolittle's? Is that the
I
guy that
think
did
that's
the
the dude,
raid?
yeah, the dude who like ranked this.
Okay.
But I honestly put the Rangers a lot farther down on this over Tampa. I don't see them making another run. Same with the Diamondbacks. Like I put them higher up on because they barely snuck in and barely like made it into the fucking World Series. Toronto Blue Jays, they've been consistently a lot better, but since they didn't get fucking Shohei Ohtani,
Mm.
it's just yeah.
I remember a lot of memes that were coming out
Mhm.
back when Shohei Ohtani was like in talks of leaving, and a lot of people thought
Yeah.
he was going to go to Toronto. I was like, I don't
Yeah,
know
everybody
why
was
you
just
would
like,
think that.
okay, so yeah,
That's
that's it.
it, man.
Yeah, I think the Rangers should be like down here at 6. Pretty much, yeah. Other Rangers,
Who was it in the World Series? It was the
there's the
Rangers
Rangers
and
and the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I'm like the Diamondbacks were in the wild card spot barely,
mm.
and then snuck in all the way through. So I don't understand why they're so deep in the rankings. And then we got the men's men's championship week for 2024, but for basketball. Tournament schedule, sites, and auto bids. I don't know what the fucking auto bids are, but I'm going to kind of skip the smaller conferences.
Oh, but I want to know who's winning the Sun Belt.
The Patriot League. All right, so the Big 12 tournament is going to be in the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. And right now it's number 1 Houston at the top of the Big 12, number 6 Iowa State, number 11 Baylor Bears, Texas Tech, Kansas, BYU, TCU, Texas Longhorns, Oklahoma Sooners, Kansas State Wildcats. Yeah. And like looking at this, like Big 12 seems to be fucking rocking right now. Except for when you get to West Virginia and fucking OSU. We could look at the Big East because they have Creighton with them. So, to no surprise, UConn is at number 1 in the East with Marquette right behind them, and then comes in with Creighton at number 3 at the number 10 ranking, AP wise.
What about Nebraska?
Yeah, I was gonna go to the Big Ten next.
Nebraska.
Big Ten and the ACC because I want to see where.
There's the ACC.
Yep. Jesus fuck. Okay, they're all the way at the bottom. No. Yeah. So the ACC, North Carolina Tar Heels are at the top with Duke right behind them. I'm not expecting them to be in the same bracket, or like the same section.
I remember when I was like growing up. I remember Louisville being like a big name.
They were a big team. Yeah, they one of their players had their feet or their shin snapped, like Joe Theismann in the game. Like they're in March Madness, and it was like their star player. He went up for a three, and he came down on like the edge of the court,
Mm-hmm.
and like his foot like slid off, and like his fucking leg snapped right there in front of the bench.
No.
Yeah, and like you can see the
Fucking in front of everybody
on live TV in front of the bench.
Fuck
The
no.
Joe Theismann, yeah. It was fucking horrific to watch, and I had watched that game too live. I was like fucking
You
what?
just-
I was like 13 or 14 years old,
Even
just
having
like
the OC, you're just like, no,
no. And like he was just laying on the floor, and they covered him up. They covered up the bone with a towel
Ooh.
until they could get medical personnel out there. Like one of the dudes on the fucking bench just goes like,
Yeah, because he's like, I don't want to fucking do this.
I don't want to see this shit. Yeah, Louisville was growing up was
Yeah, I
like a good
remember.
team
Yeah, because
for
I have family
basketball.
in Louisville, so I always like heard about it, and I was like, oh, cool. Now I see him at the very bottom. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Louisville is one of those teams like football and basketball. They kind of like bounce between like, oh yeah, we're really good this year, and it's
Yeah.
dog shit.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
I don't know what happened, but we're good
Hey,
this year.
Nebraska's number 4, man. We'll
Nebraska's
take it.
number 4.
We'll take it.
You'll probably see them in the conference, in March Madness, depending on how they do. Oh yeah, they got a more than winning record. You'll definitely see them in March Madness this year.
They don't
Which
usually go into March Madness, right?
no, they don't. So like that's gonna be a surprise.
Well,
Nebraska
I guess
fans,
that Asian fella who
yeah,
people keep talking about,
the
which should show you how
how much you paid.
ethnically accepting we are as Nebraskans, that we don't know your name, but they're like the
That
tall
one,
Asian
that
fella.
one Asian fella. Yeah. All right. So, like what? Like the next 8 to 10 minutes, we'll cover UFC.
Yeah, do you want to go to the page?
Oh, I guess I can.
Please.
Please.
So we can talk about last week's real briefly. And then
Did you like how I scanned it? I was just like MMA, MMA, MMA.
yeah, we don't want to go into last week's, and then we'll go into this upcoming week's.
This one?
Yep. Rosenstrike. So Rosenstrike did come away with the W. Just an established vet doing established vet things and taking out. I mean, the guy was what 12-0 when he was like it was his first loss
Mhm.
in MMA ever. I'm not a huge fan of the fans just saying like immediately cut him. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, come on. Like, I'm assuming that's his first main event, first 5-round fight as a
Mhm.
heavyweight. I mean, you don't usually see them going deep
Yeah.
into the 5, but I mean,
That was round 4 when the knockout happened.
yeah, I mean, fucking what? Really late in the fourth round. You don't mind scrolling down.
I do mind. I'm trying to hydrate.
Victor Perino,
Petrino, yeah.
won versus
Over
Tyson Pedro.
Mm.
Alex Perez lost to Muhammad. I can never remember how to pronounce his name.
Mokoev.
That's not right, I don't think. But
Mokaev.
but yeah, that guy. I mean, he's gonna be fucking problem. Umar Nakamedov, apparently was pretty much handling the fucking other guy. I mean, he had 11 minutes
Eric
versus Control,
Texats.
2
I love
rounds,
Macan.
over 2 rounds of
Yeah.
Control at
And
a
like
3-round fight.
his head. This is
Yeah.
the only
I
thing.
love when the UFC does that where it's just like a singular fucking red spot.
It was like this dude got pummeled.
And
Uh,
yeah, Matt
Matt Schnell,
versus Steve.
Irk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Irk. KO/TKO in round 2 with 26 seconds
I think
left.
the biggest event or the biggest news was Oliveira versus Sopoya. He took that on like a short notice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we covered that in the
And he got viciously knee
yeah
knocked out.
flying knee.
There's a clip of the ref, like he's coming up to him afterwards, and he's like, "Hey man, like that's a tough way to take a loss,
Yeah,
like in front of live TV," and he's trying to console him, but it
yeah,
just comes off so
super
badly.
fucking
Yeah,
like an asshole
he's
about
not,
it.
yeah, he's not even trying to be an asshole.
Yeah,
You can tell he's just trying to console him, but like it was kind of like when your uncle is like, "Yeah, man, sucks your dad died, man." Like but I always knew that drinking was gonna catch up to him. And you're just like, "Yeah."
you're like, what the fuck? It's like you are not helping at all.
Yeah. But that leads into this week, man. Me and Matt went ahead and we watched
The replay last Sean
O'Malley
O'Malley.
and versus Vera. I mean, the fight happened. Can you actually go into their profiles? And I think it's like 2020 or 2021. So it's been a
Yeah, it was like 2020 because so these are the last 5 fights.
yeah, do see all top right,
Wait,
top right, down, left, up.
oh, see all. Okay,
What did I say?
I thought
But yeah, I mean, when you look at O'Malley's record, Vera is his only
only
loss,
loss.
and that was in 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, so during the pandy. And I mean, Matt, you watched the fight. I'll let you, as a
So, like,
casual, explain kind of what you saw.
they said it was controversial, and I don't really see how it's controversial, like the stoppage of the fight.
Controversial, I put in parentheses.
Yeah.
Like only like Sugar Sean fans say it's controversial.
Yeah, like the dude was like dead legged early in the round, and like he tried his best to hide it too,
Yeah,
and then tried using it,
he
but
got kicked in the perennial nerve, and
yeah,
it
and it
shut off
just
the
like
whole leg.
shut off the fucking whole leg, and like after that, like you can try and stay in the fight, but there's not much more you can do. Like if my leg was shut off, like there was a time when why we had to stop doing punch buggy when you dead legged me while I was driving.
I don't even remember that.
We're
Yeah, I remember us stopping, but I don't remember deadlifting you.
well, it was on accident, obviously. Like you saw the punch buggy, you dead legged me, and like fucking foot went asleep on the drive in a neighborhood. And we had to pull my leg off to the brake
Huh.
to fucking stop us.
I definitely don't remember that.
It was like I was sitting there like, Matt, we have to stop doing this.
I do remember we had to come to an agreement, like we
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
do
But
punch buggies because we would just get so aggressive.
we were like going for blood on that shit. And
Yeah.
it was worse for Tom because whenever we were all in the car together, we would not hit each other. So we just all
And
both of us
Tom,
turned
yeah.
to Tom and fucking
It was
started
just
beating
like,
him.
ow.
Yeah, like getting dead leg though, not fun.
So in this 5-round bantamweight fight, do you think within the 4 years that they have, do you think it's gonna play out similar? Do you think it's gonna be different?
Well,
What
up
do you see?
until
Hey, what are you doing?
up until
Come here.
he was dead legged, like it seemed like they were just feeling each other out. So like I didn't really have much of a view to see how the like kind of fighting or like how it's gonna play out. So I'm curious to see how it is because it's been 4 years, so maybe he's changed up his fucking style, how he fights, or
Well, they both come in like so. Cheeto's gonna come in like that win wasn't a fluke.
yeah.
Like he's gonna want to come in. But the problem with Cheeto, the pretty consistent problem,
Mhm.
is that he starts off really slow in his fights.
Yeah.
So I think he can't really afford to take the first 2 or 3 rounds off to try to finish them in 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah. And you don't really see a lot of knockouts in bantamweight.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
You do.
Was it lightweight or bantamweight?
It's usually, I mean, like it's definitely like the smaller weight classes, but I mean, go back to like O'Malley's or Vera's like wins.
I'll
You go,
do
yeah,
Vera since
yeah. So
I'm gonna go to the CL.
as much of a knockout artist, but I mean, look, he KO'd Dominic Reyes, which that one was a pretty
Yeah.
fucking nasty one. Frankie Edgar was a pretty nasty one.
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley technically was a finish.
Yeah.
Um,
Andre Eval.
yeah, he's been in the UFC longer than I thought.
Frankie Scenes.
Science, I believe.
Science? Okay. I'm not saying that fucking name.
But I mean,
Yeah. Brad Pickett.
I mean, yeah, a lot of these fights are 3-round too.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can. I wouldn't say that you're not going to see a lot of like. Okay, honestly, sounds bad, but mostly in like the very small weight classes and women's, you don't see
Okay.
a lot. The next fight, man. Oh, sorry. Another thing about fucking Cheetos. Um, Aljo, the former champ, said that Cheeto had like a really bad camp, but after like talking to his coach, he's like, no, he had a really good camp. So we don't know like where that news
Yeah.
actually came from or what was the point of it. Is it to get into Sean's head, think it's gonna be like an easy fight or whatever. But a lot of fighters are saying like it doesn't really matter if you have a good camp or a bad camp. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna go out there and lose.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis is one of those fights where it's like, can the old crafty vet put down the fucking rising
Up and
like
comer.
up and
Yeah.
comer? Benoit Saint Denis was a French Foreign Legion guy. His nickname's the God of
Oh
War. Here,
wow.
click on the profile. I want you to see like their full body. Look at that fucking body.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. Dustin Poirier's been in the game for a long time. He's really only interested in like big money fights or like title fights.
Yeah.
And he said that if he lost this fight, he's probably gonna retire, which makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Like he's been
he's-
at it for a while.
Yeah.
And if he loses to Benoit Saint Denis, it's gonna be a long, long road back to a title shot. So I don't necessarily blame him. And I mean, I fucking if he retires and kind of stays retired, because that's the thing I hate. I hate when they like throw in a retirement and then they come back.
Yeah.
And then fucking like lose, like
And then they retire again. Yeah.
It's just like, bro, just fucking stop.
Just stay retired.
Yeah. Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page. This is honestly the fight I'm most excited for. Michael Venom Page is like a recently acquired. He's been in fucking Bellator. Click on his profile and see the amount of fucking wins and losses. So do see y'all. Look at how many fucking wins Michael Venom Page has. Now, granted, it's in Bellator. It's not as stacked
Yeah.
as the UFC.
Most of these are all knockouts or
Yeah,
TKOs.
he's such a flashy guy.
Yeah.
And like you see his like highlights, but it's always this fighter. They never go outright and say it just because of like how badly kind of Bellator does marketing and just like how it kind of gets overshadowed by the UFC. But yeah, it's a really entertaining fight with Kevin Holland and fucking Michael Venom Page. Kevin Holland is my fucking guy. Oh, I'm actually gonna do predictions for all these fights. Sorry.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just go through and then we'll do predictions at the end. Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. Fucking tongue twister of a name. Fucking another fun fight, man. Gilbert Burns fucking last time he fought, he injured his arm versus Bilal Muhammad, and he fucking like he injured in like the first or second round.
Yeah.
And fought through the whole fight with literally just one arm.
Oh Jesus.
So and it just sucks because he gets hurt, he fucking like kind of rattle off 1 or 2 wins. He gets close to like sniffing a title shot, and then like something happens.
Yeah.
So I think if he beats Jack Della Maddalena, maybe does one more fight, and then he should get a title shot.
Yeah.
But fuck, welterweight is such a fucking shit show right now. Piotr Jan versus Song Yadong. Yoder Jan, former champ, been on a bit of a downhill. I think he's lost
Mhm.
last 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And Sonny Dong, I mean, he's just a fucking warrior, man. He fucking will throw down.
Mhm.
Curtis Blades versus Jalton Almeida. That's another one of those like vets versus up and comers.
Yeah.
Jalton Almeida, fucking last time just laid on Derek Lewis for was it 5 rounds or is it 3 rounds? I think it was 5 rounds. But
Mhm.
yeah, literally just uses jujitsu and laid on him.
Yeah.
Didn't do any submission threats or
Mhm.
anything. So I hope this fight is a lot more entertaining
Then yeah.
than the previous. Ooh, Jules just fucking laid a nasty fart. Caitlin,
Drive by.
pretty much. Uh, Marina. I'm butchering that last
Yeah.
name. She's also a recently acquired gal, I believe. But Macy Barber is she's pretty solid too.
Yeah, look at the height difference. 5'9" to 5'5".
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
gonna
it kind of
be
weird
that's
that
gonna be a
they're
rough
gonna
fight for her.
I mean, that's not necessarily. Because I mean, do they show the reach?
68 to 65
Yeah,
inches.
there I mean, but look at the age difference too,
Yeah.
man. 10 years. Natsu Gamarot versus RDA, man. Fucking another kind of young and Gamarot versus old RDA. RDA's been in the game for a
Mhm.
while. You're not gonna see many fights with fucking Rafael Dos Anjos left. Fucking Pedro Munoz
Mhm.
versus
Kyler.
Kyler Phillips.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about this
Yeah.
fight, but I do know Pedro Munoz. um, and
So here, we'll
then
just do predictions from here going back.
we'll just I'll do the early prelims because there's so like John Calder or sorry, not Calderwood anymore, just John Wood is fighting. She's been on a bit of a slide, so I hope she can kind of get because I think if she loses this fight, she's probably gonna get cut.
Yeah.
And then fucking Ian Kutalaba, he was a pretty big light heavyweight
Mhm.
favorite going, but he's been on a bit of a downhill too. And then fucking Michael Pereira, hopefully that guy can make weight. He
Yeah.
struggles making weight. But yeah, we'll start. You said prelims. You want prelims
Yeah.
for predictions?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Pedro Munoz.
Okay.
After that, I'm gonna go with Gamarot. Gamarot is fucking pretty lethal.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with Macy Barber.
Okay.
By decision. I think she's gonna because I think she's a pretty good wrestler, if I remember right. Man, I don't know how I see Curtis Blades versus Jalton Almeida. Because Curtis Blades is a wrestler, but he tends to be a pretty sloppy one.
Mhm.
So if I think Almeida's jiu-jitsu is way better though, so I don't even know if he's gonna want to take it to the ground. So maybe be best if he kept it fighting. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I might go with
Almeida.
Almeida. I might. Yeah. That's what I was I want Song Yadong to win. Do I think he's gonna win? Maybe not, because Peter Young is kind of one of those short tank type of fighters,
Yeah.
but I do want Song Yadong to win. So I'm gonna pick him. I think Gilbert Burns is gonna beat Jack Della Maddalena. Um
I think they're doing another test.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
can't tell what the fuck noise this
They were
is.
saying it earlier,
Anyway,
but Gilbert Burns.
yeah, I got Gilbert Burns winning this. I want Kevin Holland to win. I'm a big
Mhm.
Kevin Holland fan. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if Dustin Poirier beat Benoit Saint-Denis, but I think if Benoit Saint-Denis does win, I could
Yeah.
honestly see it being a pretty vicious KO
Mhm.
potentially.
Well,
Just
and the French Foreign Legion don't fuck around, dude.
yeah,
Like they're hard motherfuckers.
yeah. And from what we've seen from Benoit, is he's a pretty hard motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then honestly, man, I hate to say it, I think I see Sean. I don't hate to say it, but I think fucking O'Malley's gonna retain.
You think he
I think he's gonna retain.
retain the title?
Yeah, and I don't mean I can take back what I said when I meant I didn't mean to
Mhm.
say I hate to say it, but like
Yeah.
yeah, man, I think Sean O'Malley. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if
Mhm.
Cheeto does, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of my predictions for all the upcoming fights.
So there was actually one thing I was going to spring onto you last second.
Yeah.
So we've been talking to Chesler Customs
Okay.
about potential interview, but he's not going to be able to do one until later. He's coaching a basketball team and he's also playing in a different league. And he's
Yeah.
got his kids and his work orders.
Mhm.
So it's just like, yeah, he's busy right now because we're going to try and get some interviews for while we're on vacation just to put out content. And it's seeming like a lot of the interviews are just falling apart because of scheduling stuff.
Yeah.
And like everybody's busy. So it's just trying to find a time. So I was gonna ask you, this is something we talked about before, like coming up with the stories and whatnot. Just something short to put out a couple of videos while we're gone.
Mhm.
One memorable sports moment that you remember either watching or being a part of. Like I have mine, and I can tell the story to it.
I have a lot, but I can drill down one.
Like one that just like when you think of a memorable sports moment, like that is the one. Like it's the first one to pop in your head.
See, I got a lot, but right now, I mean, all the fucking like my head is full with UFC stuff right now, so I have
Yeah.
a lot of UFC ones stuck in my head right now. But yeah, I can try to drill one
Okay.
down.
Yeah. Like I got mine. I already know which one it is.
Mhm.
I don't think we've talked about it, but we've kind of mentioned it a little bit here and there.
Mhm.
Um, and then the potential because we had talked about it long before we took our break
Mhm.
was top 5 defensive players.
Mhm.
And we just kind of go through our top 5, like who we think all-time defensive players are.
Yeah,
And then just like
I like the memorable story ones
yeah.
first. 'Cause, I mean, we're only gonna be gone like 1 week.
Yeah, 1 week, so we can at least and if one of our interviews actually does end up working out, where we
Mhm.
record it next week, we can at
Mhm.
least put out 3 videos for you guys, um, so that you guys at least have something while we're gone.
Yeah. All right, ready to wrap this up. I got
Yeah, yeah. Alright, yeah. Thank you guys for coming. I am Matty Light, joined by Matty Heavy, and this has been the MattCast. Sorry it's cut a little bit short. We had a good workout in, and he's gotta go to work, so peace out, everybody.
Bye, everybody.